Have you been thinking, planning, or even almost starting to make your portfolio website, but never actually got to it? Are you overwhelmed by the endless possibilities, services, and tasks that need to be done? Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. I used to make portfolio websites as a service, and I had people pay me ahead and then never heard of them again. Friends that text me every half a year asking me if I can make one for them. With one friend, it became a meme. 10 years he's been asking me. Now, my intention in this video is to give you a guidance. Put together the necessary steps you have to make, and hopefully you'll take the courage and do it. Because websites are like wine, the older the better. Mainly when it comes to Google. The longer they are online, the more trustworthy they are for Google to rank. So don't wait for too long. Start with something small. You don't have to tell anyone. Just publish the first version and get it out there. Alright, so necessary steps. First, you have to put at least some materials together. At least 3 projects that you have done. Yeah, seems obvious, but trust me, this is the step where most people fail. They just get into a spiral of what if and should I include that? Well, no, you shouldn't. Who of you haven't heard of the attention span? Please let me know in the comments because I really need you to tell me how you've done that. Well, same with portfolio websites. People want to see your best work and then ask you to work for them. That's it. No need to invent the wheel here. Actually, quite the opposite. You don't really want to be original when it comes to websites. People expect the logo in the left upper corner. If it's not there, it takes their brain power, which could have been used on being in awe of your work. So just put together your best work and move to the next step. Second, the technology. Unless you are a skilled programmer, you want to use some kind of platform. This is a gigantic business, of course. The social networks didn't take over the internet, and having a portfolio website is still a professional standard. So, which one to choose? Well, there are basically 2 categories. One are the proprietary services, which means there's a company that has some kind of system, you give them money, and they allow you to use the system. That's Wix, Squarespace, Webflow, Cargo, and bazillion others. This starts around 15 US a month. The other category are the open source systems, which is basically WordPress, which supposedly runs 40% of the internet. WordPress is awesome because running a website on it is much cheaper, starts at like 6 US a month. There are no limitation, but it's slightly more complicated to put it together. So basically the decision is, do I go with the easier but pricier versions with potential limitations, or do I go with WordPress? Now, when it comes to finally choosing, no matter what technology you decide to go for, you basically need to find the demos. So all the services have some kind of examples that could be used as a starting point, usually called demos. In WordPress, it's slightly more complicated because there are what's called themes, which define the design and look of the website, and those have the demos for import. I would recommend going to the official WordPress.org, take a look at the themes and mainly the commercial ones. So those are free themes that have the option of paid upgrade, which means people make money from them, they take care of them, and it's up to you if you want the free or paid version. And I'm absolutely certain that half of you are thinking, dude, AI will do it all. Well, sorry to disappoint. At this point, AI is pretty much only useful for professionals. There's again a bazillion services that promise some AI websites, but firstly, imagine you want to change a picture somewhere and you would have to write a prompt to tell the AI and then wait 30 seconds, like utter pain. So the only part of making websites where AI could be potentially useful is the initial design part. But at this moment, it could be good for some kind of inspiration or concepts, but generally, it's 10 times easier to just go through the demos and pick one of those. Trust me. Alright, and the last one, the option of support. Well, no matter how easy they say it never is. Websites are complicated. And there's nothing worse than getting stuck on some tiny issue for hours, making you quit the whole business. Make sure that the technology you have chosen offers support, a real human one. Of course, AI could be super useful in this matter, but often it might be hard to correctly describe what you are after, especially if it's your first rodeo. That's why, if you choose WordPress, I would recommend choosing one of the commercial themes, because they all offer support. Another option is hiring someone. There's again 10,000 people on Upwork or Fiverr. But firstly, from my experience, never hire the cheap ones. People that are reliable and know what they are doing don't cost $5 an hour. So make sure you have someone you could ask for help. Now, I've made a tutorial on minimalist portfolio website with WordPress, which goes through absolutely everything. Please check it out, and I wouldn't mind if you subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye.